spooky season is upon us and we have a new collection from Nomad Cosmetics, and it's based on Salem, Massachusetts. So we have a palette and 3 lipsticks. So the palette is called Witch City Salem, and again we have the coolest lenticular cover. I finally remembered what it was called, and it is so cool. I love this concept, and I love also the kind of almost like a frame around it. The color story I feel like is so perfect for the theme. I mean, we have purples, oranges, burgundies, greens, a little bit of orange as well, and I feel like this is very much a Halloween kind of color story. It's been quite a while since I've been to Salem, but I've been wanting to go. I just know that October is absolutely crazy there, especially the closer you get to Halloween. Even more inspired to go this year because of this palette launching. There are a couple of different shimmer finishes in the palette. I will be doing detail swatches of all the shimmers and talking about the textures, the colors, and the finishes. So let's talk about the other 3 products in here. These are a very new product to Nomad Cosmetics, and they are 3 bullet lipsticks, but they're very almost like lip balmy, and they have the coolest kind of texture on them where they look almost, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm wearing this shade right here, which is called Hocus Pocus, and I love this color. This is so beautiful. It's really comfortable on the lips, and you can definitely apply a super sheer layer if you wanted to, or you can build it up how I did, and I'll show you close-ups of these. So we have 3 different shades. There's a purple, there's a magenta, and then like a very topper like gold. At first when I saw them, they reminded me of the Beaute lip balms, but those are pH adjusting, so they have like 2 shades, but there's no color difference between them. They turn the same pink color on your lips, so I do really like that these have actual colors to them versus just being pH adjusting. I feel like at this point I've had enough of pH adjusting things, so I'm excited to see this format of it because it looks really cool. Like I could just sit here and stare at it. So let's talk about some of the details. I did receive this collection in PR, so thank you so much to Nomad Cosmetics for sending it over to me. And this palette will be launching August 26th at 12:01 a.m. Eastern time, and the palette will retail for $54 and the lipsticks are $17 each. And I do have an affiliate code with Nomad Cosmetics, which I'll put up on the screen, and thank you so much if you use my code. Let's get into the detailed swatches of the shimmers, 2 looks, and I'll give you some of my thoughts at the end of the video. First 2 shades are Witching Hour and Harvest Moon. You can definitely see a little bit of a difference in finish. So this one is more of a lighter peachy, lighter like nectarine orange shade with slightly more of a silvery reflect to it. And then this one's kind of like a satin shade. It's bright orange. Super beautiful. It has like almost slightly like a brighter orange reflect in certain, like if you really look like right there, you can kind of see it's just a little bit like brighter. And this top shade is so beautiful, and neither of these feel squishy. They definitely feel even drier, I would say, than their previous palettes. I'm going to be swatching these kind of out of order, just basically by color pairs. So here is Salem Willows and Witch Hunt. Super nice, not squishy at all. A little bit more on the drier side. This one definitely can be a bit more sheer. And even this one just ever so slightly. I'm actually going to add another layer, but here's what it looks like. And then if you wanted to intensify it, both of these shades. These are so beautiful. Very fine sparkle and very smooth, which I love. Top shade is a limeade, and Witch Hunt is a little bit more of like a grassy green with a lighter green reflect to it. But I do see a little bit of blue in there as well. Next 2 shades are the Crucible and Howling Halloween, also slightly different. Maybe this one's just a little bit more shiny, and this one's more of like a satin, like Harvest Moon right above it. But they're definitely more opaque types of shades. This is a beautiful pink leaning red, like a burgundy that's got a little bit of pink in it. And then this is a beautiful chocolate brown. I'm going to add a little bit more. And I see purple and silver flex throughout that one, so it's a very dimensional shade. They don't shift, but Howling Halloween almost looks like it's kind of casting like a shadow on the angle here. And then here it is up close. Next 2 shades are the purples, Gallows Hill and Ropes Mansion. Definitely more on par with like Witching Hour and Witch Hunt. So a very smooth, fine sparkle, drier feeling, and opaque. That one is a really beautiful lavender. And this one's more of like a black base multi-chrome. Definitely see black base in it, and I see pink, blue, purple flecks throughout. It's very dimensional, and it shifts to a dark purple. And then the top shade has a slightly silvery reflect. And then up close. And then the last shade is Old Burning Point. And I mean, this is, I think, my favorite shade from them. It is so beautiful, drier feeling, super, almost piecey, sparkly, beautiful, smooth, just all the things. Definitely can be shared out. I feel like this is such a beautiful neutral. Oh my goodness. I will literally just reach for this shade in this palette. This is so beautiful. I would definitely say this is more taupey, cooler toned, and it has a silvery reflect with pink flecks throughout it. And I mean, it is just so metallic and beautiful with that really fine sparkle. Stunning. For the first look, going in with Spirits and Spells. And I'm just laying this down on the inner crease. And then on the outer corner, taking Devil's Book. I'm going to be putting it on an angle. And I'm just kind of first laying it down, and then I'm going to start blending it out. And I will be deepening this up with the Witch City, the black shade. I'm going to take a little bit more underneath my lower lash line. And then just adding a little bit more. And I'm kind of blending it inwards in the crease as well, to create somewhat of a smooth transition. And then I'm wiping off the brush and I'm just blending outwards a little bit more. And then I'm taking this brush from Beaute EO5 and I'm picking up Witch City, and it's just gonna go right up against my lash line, really focusing it there. Did have some fallout underneath my eye from the shade. I didn't even put down that much. And then I'm going to go back in with the blending brush that I use for the red shade. I'm just going to really smudge it out here. Together I'm going to go back in with Devil's Book. And I'm just blending it together. Kind of winging it out. Picked up Old Burning Point. This looks so beautiful. I really wanted to use the shade, but I didn't want to do like a neutral look, which you totally could. Somewhat neutral. I feel like the shade is going to look so good with a lot of the different mattes in here. I mean, I love that. And that was just a dry application with my finger. It picked up really nice. It doesn't feel squishy. It definitely has like a drier feeling to it, which makes me feel like it's not going to crease. Even though I didn't put down a primer, but I feel like if you put down a tacky primer, you could get this to be more foiled versus this way. It's like ethereal, sparkly with a little, definitely some opacity to it. Here's the first finished look. On to the second look. I'm picking up Dark Demons. And I forgot to mention, but I am priming with the Ulta Beauty eyeshadow primer on both eyes for both of the looks. And I'm just gonna bring it up. I'm packing it down and I'm gonna bring it up a little bit into my crease. And then next I'm taking Hocus Pocus. And it's gonna go basically on the other half of my lid. I feel like there's a shimmer on this brush previously. Going in with a little bit more. Really like how punchy this green was. And I'm just gonna lightly kind of merge them together. I mean, I'm gonna be putting down a shimmer anyway. And then I'm gonna pick up a little bit of Salem Commons. And I'm gonna use that on the outer part of the plum shade. This one is more of like a violet plum, and Hocus Pocus is more of like a eggplant. So I'm gonna bring this underneath my little lash line as well. And just blending, blending, blending. So far everything's blending so nicely. I mean, look at that. I remember when purples were so hard to use. They would just not layer, they wouldn't blend. And now look at that. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more Hocus Pocus. And I'm just gonna put it on my lower lash line, making sure to connect the two shades. Picked up Gallows Hill on the Refer 28, and I misted it with the Color Cosmetics Mist Potion. And I'm gonna pop that right on the inner corner here. Kind of bridging these two together. And then on the inner part, I'm going to put Salem Willows. And again, same brush, picking it up, and I'm just going to mist it once. And these are so, so beautiful. These shimmers are, I feel like these are even better than some of the newer palettes. None of these shades have been squishy. Here's the second finished look. So far I've only used the shade on the lips and I'm really, really enjoying it. My only slight con is that if you do apply it a little bit more opaque as you're talking, drinking, etc., it does kind of wear off a little bit more in the kind of inner part of your lip area, and the pigment kind of shifts a little bit more towards the front of your lips. But you can just go like this and it will just kind of redisperse the pigment. But I'm curious to see how it works with the more magenta shade. And then I'm really excited about the gold shade because it's a little bit unique, and I feel like that one would be a great topper, especially for some kind of neutral lipsticks, just to add a little bit of sparkle. So I'm really excited to use that one. And the look I'm wearing will be a reel, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. But these are super, super comfortable, and I would not be opposed to having more shades. Again, I really like that we have 3 different shades versus just being pH adjusting, and they look really, really cool. So let's talk about the palette. When they first started sneak peeking it, before I even got the message that I was getting this in PR, before anything, I was like, I really hope this is Salem, Massachusetts themed. And lo and behold, it is, and I was so excited. I feel like there's a lot of looks that you can create with this palette. You can kind of do some more monochromatic, more neutral looks, but you could also do some more colorful looks, some more interesting color pairings as well. That so far performed all beautifully. I have used pretty much almost all the mattes except for Seven Gables. I believe I've used everything else, yes. But let's talk about the shimmers. These have got to be my most favorite shimmers from Nomad Cosmetics that they have ever released. I just love them so much. I feel like especially this one right here, and this one right here, and this one, and this one, and this one, they're just really, really beautiful. They have this really ethereal, super fine sparkle. None of these are hard panning, and they are very easy to use with a brush and misting it a little bit. I would say if you have hooded eyes, I would recommend just maybe trying it out with a tacky primer, just seeing if you have any fallout. You might get a little bit of fallout with some of the more sparkly shades like this one right here, but this one is everything. I love it so much. None of the shimmers feel squishy, and that makes me feel so, so happy. I also like that there are 2 satin shades just to have a couple of finishes to choose from, and you can also layer like this shade or this shade over these as well, which will be really fun. Having a lot of fun with this palette, and I'm excited to play with it some more because again, these shimmers, I just want to use these shimmers so much. So let me know in the comments below if you plan on picking anything up, or are you putting anything on your wish list. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you love up close swatches of super shiny, shifty, sparkly eyeshadows and tutorials, then I will have some of my other videos up on the screen for you. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.